different shapes like rectangular prism, triangular prism, and cylinder. What we are going to do now is to practice finding the surface area of a triangular prism, which consists of 2 congruent triangles and 3 rectangular surfaces. Let's start by finding the area of 2 triangular surfaces. So we can see that we have a right triangle here, and the base of this right triangle is 4, and its height is 3. To find the area of any triangle, you multiply its base by its height, and then divide that product by 2. So 4 times 3 is 12, and half of 12 is 6. And because the area, the triangular surface, is congruent to the first one, they are going to be equal in area. So if this one has an area of 6, the other one has an area of 6 as well. Let's find the area of this rectangular surface right here. Now, the dimensions of this rectangle are 4 and 8. So if we multiply 4 times 8, that gives us an area of 32. Let's find the area of this rectangle right here. The dimensions of this rectangle right here are 3 and 8. And 3 times 8 is 24. We have one rectangle left, which is this one right here. And the dimensions of this rectangle are 8 by 5. And the product of 8 and 5 is 40. Now that we know the area of 5 surfaces, let's go ahead, add them together to get our total surface area. So we have 6 plus 6, which is 12. Then we have to add 12 to 32, which is 44. And then 44 plus 24 more is 68. And 68 plus 40 more is 108. So the total surface area of triangular prism is 108 square. What we are going to do here is to find the surface area of this cylinder in terms of pi. We are going to use this equation right here. 2 pi r squared plus 2 pi r h. Now this equation is really broken into 2 main parts. This part of our equation will allow us to find the area of the 2 circular surfaces, and this part of our formula will allow us to figure out what the lateral area is of our cylinder. Remember, the lateral area means the side of the shape. So we are going to do first is to identify the value of the radius and the value of the height in this problem. So we are going to rewrite this as 2 pi times radius squared, and in this case the radius is 10, so we substitute radius with 10, and on the right hand side of our plus sign we have radius again, which we substitute with 10 again. We have to multiply that by height of the cylinder, which is 25 centimeters. Now that we have plugged all these values into these appropriate places, next is to simplify the left-hand part of our equation. And before this plus sign here, simplify everything to the right-hand side of our plus sign. So we will take 10 to the second power, which is 100. Then we take 100 and then multiply that by 2 is 200. We have to take 200 and multiply that pi. 200 times pi will give us the area of the 2 circular surfaces. And to the right of our plus sign, we have to multiply 25 times 10, which is 250. And 250 by 2, which is 500. So 500 pi will give us the lateral area of our cylinder. Next, we can combine these two terms here by adding 200 pi and 500 pi, which is 700 pi. So it was actually that simple. The surface area of the cylinder in terms of pi is 700 pi square centimeters. Let's say you had to use 3.14 for pi. Well, then you would just take 700 and multiply that by 3.14. That's the rest to it. We figure out the surface area of the cylinder in terms of. In this video, what we're going to do is to Practice finding the surface area of a rectangular prism. Now, surface area of any object is really just finding the individual area of its surface